The Google I/O conference just happened a few days ago, and in this video I want to talk about some accessibility features and some highlights from the conference. Hi everyone, it's Carrie from Live Accessible. So they went over so many things at Google I/O this year, and just a couple of them were the new Pixel 3a and 3a XL, which starts at $399, a Pixel phone that starts at $399. And they talked about how they improved voice recognition. They had a lot of new improvements and features on the Google Assistant. They also went over some not so hot talkback features and some accessibility menu improvements. And they also have live transcribe, live caption, and live relay. They're working on new speech pattern recognition for people who have hard to understand speech. So those are just some of the things. There's no way to go over it. The whole keynote was almost 2 hours long, and I will link that in the description and in the YouTube card if you guys want to go and watch that. But by the way, if you're new here, welcome to the channel. We do videos on technology, tips, encouragement, and resources for people who are blind, visually impaired, and sighted supporters. Consider subscribing and hitting the bell for more videos like these. So first of all, a Pixel phone that starts at $399 that is going to be available on most carriers, which is amazing because right now you have to get either an unlocked phone or you have to like jump through all these hoops to get it. So now it's going to be like a mainstream phone, hopefully, because I am a firm believer, it's just my personal opinion, that Pixel is a really great accessible device. I always say this, but Androids are not created equally. Each manufacturer has their own layer of software they put on top of Android, which I think slows it down and kind of messes with the accessibility. So I really like that Google stock experience. When we say stock experience, it's just the pure Google experience. Also, you get the updates, guaranteed updates for at least 3 years. It has pretty good specs for a mid-ranger. Of course, it doesn't have wireless charging. It's going to be plastic, but it has a 1080p screen, an OLED screen. It has Google Assistant, it has TalkBack, it has an amazing camera, which some of the reviewers that do general technology videos, it was harder for them to tell the difference between a Pixel 3 and a Pixel 3a or XL, which is really good because this is one of the top cameras in the market. You also get free unlimited photos, Google Photos uploads, which is, I really like that. There is no micro SD card support, unfortunately, but it does bring the headphone jack back, yay! I personally like the headphone jack because I use it for my microphone, so I really like to have that. So when it comes to TalkBack, they really didn't have much to say. They kind of repeated news, like old news. There's the screen search, which you can bring up using the angle gesture left down. And you can search your screen, you can search a website. But I don't find it so useful because it only does what's on the screen and not what's on the whole window. If you have to scroll down, it's not going to find that if you search for it, and which I don't find very useful. But I guess in certain circumstances, if you're not familiar with the app or the web page, but you know that something's supposed to be there, you can use the screen search for that. So that might be helpful. I hope that they improve that. And also there's the accessibility menu where now you have like brightness and a couple more options that is in the accessibility menu. I don't think I've come across a person who has used that. If you use that, leave that in the comments below. They also talked about Google Assistant, which I am so excited for. You don't always have to say, hey, Google. Don't want to call my phone or the phone that I'm recording on. But so you don't have to say that. Contextually, it's supposed to know when you're talking to it and when you're not, which is kind of scary because, you know, it's always listening. But at the same time, it can be so helpful because sometimes it just doesn't hear that catchphrase, or you know, you're trying to do multiple things. And so they're working on all these like smarter options for Google Assistant, which is really cool. Like you can just keep asking it and asking it and asking it commands, which is so helpful. I mean, especially for people who are blind or visually impaired, at least for me, I like to just tell it what to do. And if I can eliminate the catchphrase, then that would be really neat. They're also working on speech recognition for people who, or their speech is a little bit difficult to understand for other people, and for people who are nonverbal. So they're trying to use machine learning to interpret what they are saying or how they communicate and put those into words or into sounds, which is so cool. I think that is amazing. The last thing that I really want to talk about is something that might not be specifically for people who are blind or visually impaired, but my brother, if you don't know, is deaf. And I am visually impaired, my sister's visually impaired, my dad is totally blind, Pablo is totally blind, and so it can be a kind of difficult to communicate with him. But Google made this amazing new app called Live Transcribe. I've been using Google Dictate, like, you know, just going on a notes app or something, but it's so much better. This makes such a difference. And let me tell you, you just talk and you talk and you talk. You don't have to say periods. You don't have to say exclamation marks. If there's a long pause, it automatically makes a new paragraph. I mean, it's really a great app for people to communicate with each other. So it's always difficult to, you know, either sign, or, you know, you can always go on Word to talk to my brother, or for people, it's easier for sighted people to do this, but you can write it down, but that takes longer. So something like this is amazing, and I find it amazing and I love it. And I hope that they continue thinking about people with disabilities. And yes, they might not have had so many great things for blind or visually impaired people, but they're working on other things, which is so cool, especially for people with other disabilities, like my brother who is deaf, and there are people who are blind and deaf, so this could potentially help them. They have also live caption, which is supposed to automatically caption in live time videos, and I hope they kind of move it to audio files as well. And it will like display the caption on the screen. You can move it anywhere on the screen, or you can enlarge it or make it smaller, which is really cool. And another thing is they have a live relay. So people who are hard of hearing or deaf have the TTY service, where they call through someone who helps them communicate over the phone. But with live relay, I can potentially call my brother. It will display on his screen for him, except that he's using an iPhone right now, so I have to convince him to get an Android. Or Google might actually support it for iPhone, because they're just like that and they're awesome like that. But anyway, so I could call my brother and it would display on his screen. He could type out what he wants to say, or they also have like suggested smart replies that he can just tap on, and then it will say that out loud for me over the phone. So that is amazing. I think that is really cool, and I am so excited to try that out and have my brother over. I invited him to have lunch over here so that we could test it out. And so I am so excited for all the things Google does. While there might not have been as many updates or features for people who are blind or visually impaired, like I said, I think Google is doing a great job so far. I wish they could do more, but I think they're doing a great job so far. There's so much more things to do, but they are headed in the right direction, in my opinion. So what do you guys think about these updates? I know there's a lot of disappointment in the blind and visually impaired community that there isn't a lot of updates, but hopefully there will be soon. And so I wanted to just share some of my thoughts. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Leave a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for more videos like this. And thanks for watching, everyone, and I will see you guys in the next one.